10 toes behind Jesus. 10 toes behind Jesus. 10 toes behind Jesus. I started 10 toes. You know how it go. Used to have waves, now I wear a big nappy fro. Then I fell down. Couldn't believe it until I stood up 10 toes behind Jesus.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on 10 Toes Behind Jesus podcast. My name is Britley, and I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm extremely happy for this episode because, as you see, we have our first special guest on 10 Toes Behind Jesus podcast, Trey Jemison.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing?
So, Trey, y'all, not only is he our first special guest, he's our first celebrity on the podcast.
I don't know about a celebrity.
So, y'all, Trey is a phenomenal basketball player, but what's even more impressive, he's a man of his faith, and we've known each other for some years. I don't even know how many to count back, but we went to the same high school together, and we've just always kept in touch. But what I've noticed about, like, both of us, it seems like we've become more vocal with our walk with God and have taken it more serious, I would say, within the last year or two. So something I really want to talk about is Trey's a part of Ransom. By the way, he plays basketball for UAB.
Go Blazers. Yeah.
And he's a part of Ransom. So I really wanted him to talk about that with you guys and explain what it is and his role and involvement. And yeah, we'll talk about more things, but let's start off with that.
That's crazy. So Ransom is a student-led organization, and it's kind of like, I'm not going to say it's a church group, because that's like kind of like stereotypical.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like a group of friends who like try to build God's kingdom, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like throwing events, you know what I'm saying? Having worship nights, kind of just growing the kingdom by just having that fellowship in college.
Yeah.
It's been dope.
That's what's up. So when did it start? Like, is it new or has this always been?
Ransom's been going on, I hate to get this wrong,
but like for some years.
It's been about 6-7 years now. You know,
okay.
Jeremy Towns, who played for the Buffalo, who played in the NFL, started a while ago.
Awesome.
And Jeremy does an amazing job. Cause we have a campus here at UAB, Campbell University, South Alabama, Sanford. I think we started one at A&M this year. So we got some big things going on at Ransom.
That's impressive. Is this your first year being a part of it?
So last year I went, but now like I'm an actual leader. So it's
you're actual leader.
Yeah, so
okay, Trey.
So it's big time. I'm excited.
Yeah. So okay, tell me about some events that you all have done so far, because I've seen a lot. I'm supposed to go to one of them, but I'm gonna get to one of them.
We do a lot of stuff. So the basketball games are always big events. They come and like do we're doing a basketball game actually in February. It's kind of, they don't know about it yet, but we'll provide food, give out t-shirts again, and have a worship night after the game.
No way!
Yeah, it's gonna be lit. So we're gonna do that.
I'm coming.
February 11th. It's gonna be dope.
February 11th.
Yeah. So put that in your calendar.
Look, y'all pull up.
Yeah, spring break trips, Christmas trips. It's everything. Like, it's amazing. Like, really.
So how has Ransom, I guess, helped with your walk with God, and in a way, like, well, I don't want to speak for you as far as saying it's brought you closer to God, but like, has it, and how has that?
Yeah, definitely. I grew up in the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mom, every Sunday we're gonna be in church. But when you go to college, it's different. You know, like,
it's different.
You get around your own. You have your own time. You have your own space. And for a while, I kind of went through the routine of like going to church and listening to Bible study. I kind of just stopped for a while because life happened. I kind of just didn't fall toward the word. And when you're an athlete, you know, you're around other athletes. All athletes really aren't living for God, trying to do right. They're trying to, you know what I'm saying, enjoy college. And when I met these amazing Ransom people, they kind of gave me this community that helped me, hey, get close to God, draw closer to Him, and hey, have friends that, hey, are holding me accountable. So it's been dope. It's really changed my whole perspective on college.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's I'll share with you, like, that's similar to like my story, kind of like coming back home and being more involved in church and having a church community.
Yeah.
And it definitely makes a difference. And so, y'all, you heard out there, Trey's a collegiate athlete. I'm a collegiate athlete. Like, it is still possible to live a life full of God and fully committed, and you know, you don't have to feel like you're a standout or all of this stuff. Like, you know, there's things in place like Ransom. I'm sure other colleges have things in place to where you can find a community of people that's also trying to live 10 toes behind Jesus.
Facts.
So stay encouraged, y'all out there. But so you said coming up you have the event in February.
Right.
Now, I know spring break also is coming up. Do y'all already have,
Yeah, so we're planning a spring break trip right now. I can't go because I'll be in season.
You'll be in season.
But they are, our first ransom on campus is January 30th.
Okay.
And we'll have a meeting about that the night before, about details and everything, and I'll get more information then. But it's going to be big time.
That's awesome.
We just had a winter, little conference, and it was amazing. It was 3 days.
Really? Where was it?
It was at the Agape Worship Center. It was in Center Point. And we had 6 schools come down, and it's like 200 people at the church, and we just
that's big time.
Played games, had a good time.
That's big time.
Went out, yeah, it was good. It was good. Like you can really go there, and like a lot of people are so shy with their faith because they don't want to be like, hey, I'm just a churchy person.
Yeah,
you can be yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and like that helps me a lot, and like it's a great atmosphere.
And I think that's big because. Like, for me, I would say I was shy with my faith, too, because, you know, I never saw anyone like me being so vocal about it. And so, basically, I'm just saying, like, good job to you for, you know, basically, because I know it's a lot of people like you playing basketball, but none of their teammates post about God, none of this, so they're kind of like, I don't want to be the standout, but then they can look at someone like you and be like, look at this guy, like he's doing it. I can do it too, and not be so shy about it.
Fact.
So
well, I don't want to seem like I was like perfect because I was a fool for a while. I'll tell anybody. Yeah, I went to college. I was like, yo, like I lost my grandparents. I was kind of just mad at the world for a while. It kind of just like went downhill. You feel me? And by the grace, like his truly grace, you know what I'm saying, saved me. Like, hey, like I can't lose you, son. So like really just through that. I had to make adjustments and make some growth, and it came through.
And now look, we here,
10
toes behind Jesus.
10 toes.
So let's pivot a little bit and let's talk about basketball. So we are a senior at UAB. Yeah. You already have your bachelor's degree in engineering. Construction science.
Yeah, it's engineering.
And so it's engineering. And so now it's our last season. I haven't been to a game. I'm sorry. I'm coming though. I love my UAB games. But how has this season been for you?
It's been crazy. It's been a lot. Crazy. Lessons, you know what I'm saying? So this is a new team. We got 8 new players last year.
Oh, real new.
Yeah, we got 8 new players last year, so we're adjusting to that. But right now we're kind of at one of our lowest moments. But we're gonna bounce back, you know. Okay. We're number 3 in the conference, and we're 12-5 right now. So not our best, but not too bad.
It's not too bad. Yeah. How has your game been, and compared to like years before?
What's crazy ever since December, I've been playing really well. Like some of my best basketball. Yeah,
I've been seeing it, y'all. That's why I asked you. Like, I've been seeing, but okay.
I've been playing good, but my mindset changed on basketball. I was so focused on hey, I gotta make it. I gotta play good. And one day we played South Carolina. I went 0 for 6 from the field. I pretty much fouled out. Wow. And I kind of went to God, just frustrated, and said, hey, God, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, I'm working so hard. I'm sacrificing. I'm living right now. What am I doing? And God said, you worried? And God, he told me, hey, you worried about making it, not worried about me. He said, you got to trust me that, like, hey, no matter what happens, no matter the outcome of the score, how many points you get, how many blocks you get, that when you with me, you win.
Wow.
So, like, ever since then, I've been like, hey, no matter if I play good, play bad, I'm with God, so
we
I'm good.
Always win
so
at the end.
Yeah, so, like, and it sounds like cliche, and a lot of people, like my teammates are like, you don't care about the game? Like, I do care about the game. But I play basketball. I'm not a basketball player, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So like, my identity isn't.
That's not who I am.
Yeah, so like, if I play bad tomorrow, I'm going to be upset because I work hard on the game, but it won't tear my whole spirit down. You know what I'm saying? So like, I make sure that my identity isn't in basketball, but in the Lord. Because God is always consistent.
Yes.
God don't never,
you don't go like this. I go like this. But God always stays the same. Facts. I love that what you said. Like, with God, we always have the victory.
Facts.
Like, don't ever think that you losing, you behind, you taking yourself back. With God.
With God.
You always gonna win. That's deep. Yeah. Okay. I like that.
So it's been good. I've been hooping. I had a double last night, matter of fact, and then 2 nights ago.
So when's the next game?
Saturday.
That's
away. It's away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll be home next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk after the podcast.
I got you.
I gotta make sure I'm there. I'm there.
Yeah.
So what I also wanted to mention that I completely just forgot about it. You started out at Clemson.
I did.
Okay, so how was the transferring process and like mentally, like how was that?
Transferring is tough. A lot of people do it now just off the whim, but for me it was a big decision because I love Clemson.
Really?
I'm still a Clemson fan to this day. Like,
wow.
Football game, like I'm wearing my Tigers. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of went to God and prayed about it. You know what I'm saying? And kind of was like, yo, God, let me not just leave off of like me being hurting my feelings. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't focused up there, to be honest. I was living life. You know what I'm saying? Doing my thing. And I prayed about it, and God said, hey, it's time for you to come home.
Yeah.
And I did not want to come home.
Really?
No, I was like, yo, I've been in Birmingham my whole life. I don't want to come home. And I prayed about it, and God said, hey, it's time to come back. And it's working out.
Look, but now look at you. Like,
it's working out, you know? It's working
look at you now. At the time, you probably had no idea, like, what God had, what he was going to do. But now, it's always good to look back and be like,
trust him.
Trust him, man.
Because I was like, yo, like, cause crazy. I prayed to God. I was like, yo, God, if I come home, I need you to, you know what I'm saying, turn up in my life. And I prayed that in March. And in November of that same year, I lost my grandparents.
Wow.
I was like, God, we got beat.
Wait, we got...
I said, God, I came home to be by my family. You took my people away from me. Aww. I was hurt, you know what I'm saying? And kind of like pushed God away for a while and living for the world or whatever. And just, you don't heal that way, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't until I got right with God until I actually healed and got through all that. So it was a process.
I know sometimes, like, when God talks to us, even if he, tells you like, it doesn't always happen like that.
Nah, facts.
And we'll think, oh, it's going to happen like that. Like God said, this is going to happen. Boom. And then next thing you know, you go through the storm. And you're like, God, I thought we just talked about it.
Yeah.
But it's all about trust. And I feel like he's testing us like, okay, how will you respond if I don't give you what you want?
Facts.
So... That's awesome.
That's crazy.
So, I have a question. I know a lot of people probably also have a question that are striving to be 10 toes behind Jesus. They're in college. All these outside influences going on. They may be a collegiate athlete, so now they got college influences, people, practices multiple times a day, study halls. So, like, how do you make time for God, like in your daily schedule, daily routine? Like, what does that look like?
It's pretty much like I have to make time. Like, I can't fit time for God. If I fit time, it won't happen.
Okay. So we gotta be honest.
Yeah. So I have this kind of routine now, and I'm doing 21 days of prayer now, so it's different. But usually, I wake up an hour and a half early, so I can pray and read the Bible. It's usually just 15 minutes. So I pray for 5 minutes, read the Bible for 5 minutes, and just sit in his presence and worship for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So that's just in the morning, so start my day off right.
I like that.
You see what I'm saying?
I might steal that.
And at nighttime, it's the same thing. But usually at night, it's a whole lot longer. Usually I shower, worship music on, and come out and just sit in his presence for like 10 minutes. And let the whole day just wash off me, you feel me? And just let God do his thing, you know? And from there, I go into prayer and just talk to God and sit with God, and whatever word I've been studying, I just sit on that for a minute too.
Meditate on it.
Yeah, but the big thing is making time for God. Because I have this rule, like I have in my house. I said, no video games until you pray.
Okay.
Because if I play the game, I'm not doing any worship that night. What?
Not doing any. I don't know. This was from a podcast or my pastor said something on it.
Yeah.
But, or maybe my friend said something. It said word before the world.
Yeah.
So it's in like when you wake up, like before,
Facts.
like you know, go out into the world with this like word first. So you saying that kind of just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And I just love that concept because you can't do anything without God.
Facts.
So it's like, why would you go ahead and start to doing something and then kind of go back and like try to do it? It just don't make sense.
Fact, and every day is different too. Like every day isn't like an hour of prayer. You know what I'm saying? Like some days, like Monday, I know I was like in there for 5 minutes. I'm like, God, I'm tired. Like, thank you for this day, Jesus. Amen. And just that's it. But like making time. You know what I'm saying? And just making sure you give God just a little bit of something. You know, He'll make it work.
Well, all right. I have one. I think I just said that was the last question, but I changed my mind because I want to ask another question. Yeah. What would you say? What advice would you give to someone that's striving to be 10 toes behind Jesus?
Find community, man. You can't do this alone. Like I tried it alone, and it's impossible. You gotta find friends who like can push you towards God and hold you accountable. Cause doing it alone is tough. Like when you mess up, who's gonna hold you accountable?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like. Find friends who are pushing God and chasing God like you have never seen before, and watch how your life change, man. It's gonna be impactful. Yeah.
This mic was so heavy I would drop it.
Before I have a question for you.
Oh, okay. Let's go.
What made you start 10 Toes?
Ooh, so 10 Toes Behind Jesus originally, like I didn't before the podcast part came. I was trying to figure out a way to raise money for a church in Mexico that I visited. I just, fell in love with the pastor and his wife, and what they're trying to do for this community is big. So I'm like, okay, we got to figure out a way to raise money. I couldn't think of any ideas until God just dropped in, like, start selling, like, shirts. Because, there's fundraisers like the fundraisers, but you always have to give them like a percentage. And I was like, that's also temporary. So the church thing, I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, well, what's the name? And so this past year and a half, I've been taking like my walk with God way more serious. And so when I talk to my old friends and I tell them, they think it's like, like, it's just for a short time, like it's just a period, a phase she's going through, and I'm like, no, like I'm 10 toes behind this. Like I would just tell them I'm 10 toes behind this. So I'm like, what's the name? And like 10 Toes Behind Jesus came, and I was like, that's hard. That's why I always tell people like this was God's idea. Like I wish I was smart enough to like come up with this, but I'm not. And then like a couple days later, just the podcast coming up to like build a community, to encourage people, to help people, because I wasn't always like this. And so I don't want anyone to think, it's easy for her. She grew up in church. She's always been like, this is easy for her. Yeah. Like, no, I was definitely not always 10 toes behind Jesus. So, yeah, that's where it came from.
I love that.
Thank you.
And last thing, you got to sing the song for us.
He's referring to the intro song, which my brother did. So when I interview my brother, he gonna sing it. Because I don't need... I did like a little ad-lib.
Go ahead.
But no.
Give us a little song.
Maybe next time. Right, Maybe next time. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
10 toes on Jesus.
10 toes.
But y'all, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and cop you some 10 Toes Behind Jesus merch.
The merch.
All proceeds go to the upbuilding of God's kingdom, so be sure to do that. And don't forget to stay 10 toes behind Jesus, because he's 10 toes behind you. See y'all next time.
Yo.
Oh.